Hello, good afternoon. My name is Nestor Suarez. We work with Centurion Coatings. We're a U.S. manufacturer out of McKinney, Texas.
And I'm Jim Smith. I've been in the coatings business for over 35 years. I represent Centurion Wood Coatings in McKinney, Texas.
Awesome. Thank you guys for doing this. Um, I will start by asking you, have any guitar company used your product before?
Yes, there's been several companies that have used our products. One would be Fender Guitar down in their main facility of production in Ensenada, Mexico, and they do have a Corona facility. They've used it in the past.
Yep.
And the other company that has also used it and really liked it, but then unfortunately went another route is Taylor Guitar, and that was a water-based UV that is applied and polished on their acoustic guitars.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. So if there is any luthier looking to get a high gloss finish for their guitars, right? Something that is very durable, scratch resistant, and also chemical resistant. Although we don't place any coffee cups on top of the guitars, sometimes you have situations, right? What product of your line would you recommend?
We would recommend our water-based UV.
Okay.
That would be something that is bulletproof, to chemical resistant, to stain, to the wear and tear also of a guitar as it gets strummed
Yeah.
and handled and traveled and stuff. It's more durable.
So from your finishes, that would be the hardest.
That would be the hardest, and that would be like the Ferrari of the
Okay.
finishes.
And for somebody that doesn't have the possibility of doing UV curing, what other catalyzed products do you have?
We would recommend our two-component product. Two-component product would be the 2800 series clear, and it can be buffed. It can be buffed after 32 hours. After 32 hours of dry, you can buff it.
And do they come in different sheens or?
They come in. We have four standard sheens: gloss, semi-gloss, matte, and flat.
Okay.
So that's our standard sheens.
Cool.
But if volume is there, we can custom. Where CIC stands for custom industrial coating. So
Okay.
we're a custom house. So the way I could describe it is we're a custom tailor. Let's say if you want something custom made for you, you can come to us. That's what we do. The big boys don't do that. They have SKUs, and if you don't
Yeah.
find it there,
Yeah,
yeah.
I've seen that. What sealer do you recommend? Because we use, for example, woods like mahogany, swamp ash, alder, poplar, basswood, stuff like that. So, is there an ideal type of finish? Sealer for those type of woods, or?
Well, the 2800 and also our 400 series, they're self-sealing products. You can use it as a sealer
Okay.
and a top coat. We
Nice.
do have sealers. We do have water-based sealers, but these products are, they're self-sealing.
Yeah.
You can
Okay.
use them,
So
which reduces the SKUs that you have to carry.
talking about something more technical, what will be the window or flash time when you apply the 2800, for example, to do like a wet on tack application, or do you need to sand between coats? What will you say about
Well, if you're going to sand, you're probably going to be looking at room temperature within no air movement or any other source of heat. You're probably going to look anywhere about 25 minutes to 30 minutes before you can sand it and move on to the second
Okay.
coat. If you, obviously, the way I can explain water-based is, imagine a rainy day and there's a puddle of water.
Yeah.
And there's no air movement. That puddle of water will be there for a longer time, right? So when you have air movement, it evaporates. So you reduce the drying time.
Right.
And then if you introduce heat source with air,
Even more.
even more.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it's
So it's a matter of timing. And so is there a window where you can apply the second and third coat without having to sand, or you have to sand between coats?
Well, it depends on the substrate also,
Okay.
right? And it depends on the substrate. The porous substrate, the harder the wood, you probably can get away from not sanding, but a scuff sand. So
Okay.
basically a scuff sand is just at the nib, right? If you're using softer woods,
Yeah.
water obviously pops the grain, right?
Yeah.
It grazes the grain. So you're going to have to sand a little bit more on that particular substrate. So it's all boiled down to a substrate.
Cool. I don't know if you want to participate in this question or should I?
One of the differences when you were talking about windows.
Yeah.
In these waterbornes, we don't have, if a tick of 8 hours goes by, sand it.
Oh yeah.
You didn't ruin it. You didn't exceed the window time.
Yep.
With a lot of when we get into polyesters and some of the other things. So I
Okay.
just say it's these water-based, whether we're talking about the one single component, the UV, the 2K, they're a little more user-friendly than some of the other options that are out there.
Okay.
It just more durable, more just about everything,
Okay.
and a little more user-friendly.
Awesome. Good to know. So, as you can imagine, we use colors, right? So when you want to give color to a guitar, usually there's people that use nitrocellulose-based colors and urethane-based colors, the stuff that you use on cars, right? So, can you spray for example, the 2800 on top of that directly, or do you need an isolante, or is there going to be any compatibility or adhesion issues?
As long as those products are dry,
Okay.
you can put the products over it
Directly.
Yes,
Okay. Okay. That's-
with a sand, because what you're trying to do is obviously you're trying to merge two different products. You're
Yeah.
doing a hybrid system. So what you're trying to do in the industry, there's a mechanical bond, which means you sand and you put grooves in the surface that is going to apply,
Yeah.
and mechanically you're tagging the two. And in solvent, we call that a chemical bond,
Yeah.
because a lacquer
Burning, yeah.
burns into itself and melts into a pack. So what you guys would be doing for that, trying to merge these two products separate, you would have to do a mechanical bond. So you would have to sand.
Yeah, that's one big question I have, because, for example, a metallic, you cannot sand it because you will see the scratches.
Right.
So, what would you?
I would, well, you could sand it with a fine grit.
And it should be fine.
It should be fine because it's superb. It was imagine the cars that finishing the car, metallics are metallics, right?
Yep.
Those get sanded too, but it's a fine 2,000 grit or
Oh,
1,200
I
It's
C.
when we talk about sanding, because of the sanding marks that are left.
Right.
600, 800, 1,200, 2,000, 3,000. You're almost opening it. You're not really sanding it.
Yep.
The key, and it could have brought it up a little, if you don't sand and you have a flaw, guess what? That flaw is still there. The flaws do not go away. So the key to sanding is to get your substrate. You want it as perfect as possible.
Right.
If it's perfect, your top coat will be perfect. If you have one little flaw, guess what? That little flaw is
gonna
still
show.
there.
Yep.
It doesn't go away.
So for adhesion issues, for adhesion purposes, no less than 12,000 in order to not scratch the
The
finish, right?
metallics, right?
Okay,
Metallics.
awesome. Is there any product that you would say is not compatible with water-based stuff? Like, oh, you shouldn't mix or apply a water-based over this thing, or any compatibility issues? Because people maybe imagine water-based having limitations when it comes to interacting with other technologies, let's say.
So, you want to handle that?
The main problem that I get on the technical side is like a Minwax oil-based stain. They did not wait 24 hours. The other problem is they trusted a paint store that tinted it. You should never tint a ready-made oil-based stain.
Okay.
They do it all the time. The pigments are the biggest problem. Pigments and oil.
Okay.
That's the key. We could take things and tone the clears. There's different ways that we can manipulate it. But the worst thing in the world for ours would be an oil-based stain that was not dry.
Don't use them together, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
The way you could overcome that is called a hybrid system. This is exactly a hybrid system. You're using oil base, and then you would have to use a vinyl sealer or an isolante that would keep
A barrier.
There you
between the water and the solvent. So that's the most common use.
Right.
You use this a vinyl sealer, an isolante that isolates
Right.
the stain and prepares us it has a surface where the water base.
Okay, okay. So, for example, one of the other things that we do is use candy as to try to achieve like translucent colors.
Candy red.
And also like a carrier if you want to spray like a sparkle, right?
Right.
Can you use this product for that?
Yes,
Okay.
there is metallics that are specifically designed for water base
Nice.
that you can put in water base. There are several companies out there. You just have to call them because they manufacture metallics, or some are metallics for solvent, some are for water, and some are micas. Micas are more pearl essence stuff.
Yep.
So they also have micas for solvent and for water base.
Okay, okay, awesome. Well, this has been amazing. Can you recommend a place for people to go and purchase the products?
Oh, we have several distilleries nationwide.
Best thing to do would be
Go
just
to
go
our
to our
website.
website, which is the www.ciccoatings.com or www.centurionwoodcoatings.com.
Okay.
And you can click for distributors.
Distributors. Okay. Awesome.
Nationwide.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you very much, guys. This
Thank
was
you very
amazing. Thank you. Thank you.